In the northern town of Kamen Casa, people did not argue with nightfall. They prepared for it. As the sun sank behind the dry trees and the sky turned the color of old ash, doors were shut. Cooking ended early. Children were called indoors before the final light disappeared. Even animals understood the rule. Goats bleated softly, chickens settled, dogs stayed close to walls. And above all, everyone waited for one sound. The drum. The talking drum of Kamen Casa did not sing for celebration. It did not call people to dance. It spoke only one message every single night, without fail. You are still safe. As long as the rhythm continued, the town slept. But on the night the drum stopped beating, Kamen Casa did not know it had already been noticed. The night the rhythm failed. Sadiq was 18. He was not fearless. He was not foolish. He was simply the kind of boy who listened more than he spoke. That evening, harmattan dust thickened the air, dulling the moon until it looked like a watching eye half buried in sand. Sadiq sat outside his family's compound, stitching a torn sandal by the fading light, when a strange feeling settled in his chest. Something was missing. He paused. Listened. No drum. At first, he told himself it was nothing. Perhaps the drummer was late. Perhaps he was ill. But as the darkness deepened, the silence grew heavy, pressing against the ears, against the skin. Sadiq stood slowly. The paths were empty. No footsteps. No laughter. Just wind brushing against mud walls. Still no drum. When Sadiq mentioned it to his mother, she froze. Her hands stopped moving. Her eyes lifted slowly to his face. Then she grabbed his wrist and pulled him inside. Shiga Gida, she whispered urgently. Go inside. She bolted the door. That was when Sadiq understood, this was not ordinary silence. That night, sleep did not come easily. Every sound felt wrong. The creak of wood. The shift of fabric. The breath of the wind. Then he heard it. His name. Sadiq. The voice came from outside the compound. Soft. Familiar. It sounded like his father. But his father lay asleep beside him. Sadiq held his breath and did not answer. The voice waited. Then it sighed. And moved on. Morning brought no relief. Maryam, the woman who lived near the old well, was gone. Her compound showed no sign of struggle. Her cooking pot still held half-prepared food. Her sandals sat neatly by the door. Only one thing was wrong. Footprints. Bare footprints. Leading toward the bush. Stopping suddenly, as if swallowed by the earth itself. By midday, the elders gathered in the village square. No announcement was made. People simply knew. The drummer's seat was empty. And no one asked why. That night, Kamen Casa locked itself in. No fires burned late. No voices rose after sunset. But silence did not mean peace. People heard knocks on doors that were never opened. Footsteps circling compounds. Breathing just outside windows. Sadiq heard his mother's voice again. Calling him. Begging him. He pressed his palms against his ears and stayed still. By morning, a boy was gone. 13 years old. His mat was empty, still warm. His door was locked from the inside. This time, fear broke through restraint. Women cried openly. Men spoke in hushed voices. Children were not allowed out of sight. The elders could no longer pretend. That night, Sadiq was called to meet the elders. They took him beyond the village, to ground no child was allowed to touch. The soil there was dark, heavy, old. Baba Jato, the oldest man in Kamen Casa, knelt and placed his palm on the earth. This land remembers, he said. Long ago, something had come from the bush. Not an animal. Not a man. Something that could wear both. It fed on curiosity. On answered calls. On attention. The ancestors trapped it beneath the ground and sealed the pact with rhythm. As long as the drum beat, it slept. But the drummer was gone. And the rhythm had broken. It hasn't taken you, an elder said. Yet, another corrected. The thing did not fully recognize Sadiq. That made him dangerous. And useful. They handed him the drum. It was heavier than it should have been. Cold to the touch. You must take it to the old shrine, Baba Jatto said. And you must beat it. Sadiq swallowed. What if it hears me? Baba Jatto met his eyes. It already has. The bush swallowed the path behind him. Branches clawed at his clothes. The air thickened. The night felt alive. Halfway to the shrine, the forest went silent. Then the ground ahead shifted. It stood up. Tall. Thin. Almost human. You were not meant to remember us, it said, its voice layered with many voices. Sadiq raised the drumstick with shaking hands. You broke the rhythm, he whispered. The thing smiled. No, it replied. You stopped listening. The sound that shook the night. Sadiq struck the drum. Once. The sound cracked the air like thunder. Twice. The ground trembled. On the third beat, the night folded inward. The thing screamed, not in pain, but in anger, as it unraveled, sinking back into the soil like smoke pressed into earth. Silence returned. Heavy. Satisfied. For 3 nights, no one vanished. People believed it was over. On the 4th night, Sadiq lifted the drumstick. The drum moved. The skin was warm. The sound that came out was wrong, too deep, too slow. That night, a man was found sitting upright on his mat, eyes open, smiling too wide. He had not been taken. He had been left. Before dawn, Baba Jatto confessed. The drum does not trap it forever, he said. It feeds it something else. What? Sadiq whispered. The old man looked at the drum. A listener. From that night, the drum called Sadiq before he touched it. In his mother's voice. In his own. He stopped sleeping. His shadow lagged behind him. On the 7th night, Sadiq did not come out. The drum did not beat. Elders broke into his compound. The door was locked from the inside. Sadiq was gone. The drum was gone. Only bare footprints remained, leading into the ground beneath the drum's place. What Carmen Casa knows now. The drum beats again. No one sees who plays it. Sometimes, the rhythm sounds like breathing. And in Carmen Casa, they no longer say the drum protects them. They say, we are still being listened to. In the north, not every sacrifice ends a story. Some only keep it quiet. And when the drum stops beating again, there may be no one left to notice.